Hello, comrades! It's been a while. My name, of course, is Open Potato, and this is, of course, Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. Now, there has just been an absolutely massive patch that has dropped in this game, so I'm delighted to start a brand new series where we're hopefully going to cover all of the good new stuff that there is to offer. Now, I have set up a game mode. We're going to be playing, by the way, with a couple of added extras, which we'll talk about as we go. One of the added extras, one of the mods that I have installed, is the Russian Far Eastern Coast. So we're actually going to be playing on a completely new map, which isn't in the base game, which is very, very nice. We can change it up a little bit. As ever, I've tweaked the settings to ensure that this series is more enjoyable, hence the easy amount of money. That's the only reason that I'm going for it. A reasonable, unsatisfied citizens' reactions. We're going all in on buildings and vehicles requiring energy, so that's fuel and power as well. Day-night cycle. That's going to be disabled because, well, for YouTube, mostly. Building fires, frequent pollution enabled. Year of start 1970, so we have a little bit of vehicle variety instead of just the 1960 vehicles. And yeah, education simulation is going to be complex. So without further ado, let's jump into the game and see what there is to offer. Now, as I've said, there's a bunch of new vehicles. There's a bunch of new bits of different transport infrastructure, and I do indeed hope that we're going to be able to show you exactly what there is in store. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is an absolute wasteland. I mean, this is a lovely part of the country, comrades. The nicest bit. Absolutely delightful. What have we got? Mount Brest. All right. Well, that sounds like a interesting place. Are there any towns here? I mean, I was promised population. If there's no okay, all right, Petersburg. Petersburg has got population. Okay, wowzers. It looks like we are going to use a significant number of rubles in order to actually import some labor here. Oh my lordy, that is absolutely bonkers. Okay, there are a few people here as well. Okay, all right. I see what the situation is. Right, so, I mean, there is not much of anything. There is not much of anything over here. So that's to the Pacific. That's to the Pacific. That's to Vladivostok, Sea of Japan over there, etc. Sakhalin Island over there, Japan over there. All right, okay. I think we can just about deal with this. You know, the first thing to observe is the shockingly small number of people. So we should probably set up our own sort of like regional capital, I guess. One of the advantages that I'm immediately seeing is that most of the population, at least in this area, is quite close to the border. So, you know, there are a couple of settlements that would be within trading distance, perhaps, of the border, which is quite nice. The problem with this area is that it is rather hilly. Yes, I think what we're probably going to want to do... I mean, that's a trading station over there. So that's going to be an opportunity for us. I mean, there is a very, very, very large, flat-ish area over here, which is fairly well connected. There's a, you know, road up to there, road up to there. I think this area is going to be where we found Potatograd. Wonderful. Well, why don't we do that? Let's set things up. Let's immediately declare this area Potatograd. That's right. It's tradition. Potatograd. Perfect. And what I'm gonna do, folks, is I'm gonna set up like the very, very basics in order to flatten out a little bit of this ground, and then we're gonna try and immediately build some industry so that we can talk about and show off the brand new tech. That's right. So, first things first. I mean, look at this. Look at this. We can actually set roads to travel in a single direction. How crazy is that? That is absolutely bonkers. Also, you'll see there's bridges which is now being set up as well. There's bridges. Bridges are handled slightly differently. We can also place waypoints. Very, very, very cool. And I like the look of that a heck of a lot. Right. So let's start off with a gravel road. Yeah, you know what? We'll just get it built, and we'll get ourselves. What is it that we're really after? I mean, we need a depot, actually. So we'll need a construction office. We'll need a construction office for the simple reason I'm gonna need to do a little bit of terraforming, and I want to do terraforming on the cheap, as far as I'm concerned, given the probable amount that we will need to do. So we're gonna go get some bulldozers, 3 bulldozers, sure, and a couple of excavators as well. Yeah, 3 excavators, 3 bulldozers. That seems to me like a pretty good idea. All right, let's bump this up and see if we can. Yeah, there we go. Now we're talking. Fantastic. So we'll just modify the river just a little bit. Only doing this, by the way, to get a slight bonus section of building area, because the great thing about this update is that it now means that you're able to build really substantial, proper industrial areas, which is so brilliant because that really sort of fits the Soviet vibe. And so I'm really excited to show off one specific feature, which is going to make building, you know, complex industrial areas just that much easier. And by just that much easier, I mean like it is a total game changer. There are so many things in this update which are really fantastic. All right, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. I don't think we're gonna need that much more space. I mean, we are gonna need a fairly large amount of space, given that we don't have any houses at the moment, which is a bit of a joke. I didn't really anticipate this map being as truly accurate as indeed it seems to be. Right, let me see the wireframe a little bit, so we can see the sort of topography of the land. Looks like that area that I've just terraformed is probably the flattest area, and for that reason, let's see if we can try and build out a little bit of infrastructure over here. Yeah, now we're not gonna end up building all of this ourselves. We're just gonna immediately get down to business and zone out a couple of roads here and there. Yep, we'll do that. We'll see if we can try and get some buildings. We're gonna get some residential buildings. We're gonna get some buildings that cater for the residences as well. So let's do that. Let's see what the biggest building that we can get is. I do indeed believe that it's this one. Right. So let's not auto build quite yet. So we'll get a good number. We'll get a good number of buildings down, you know, just for good measure, you know. There we go. Wonderful. And then we will also indeed see if we can get I mean, maybe getting a train platform wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. Also, there are a couple of extra mods, which we'll talk about later. But for now, let's just focus on the basic, shall we? I think we'll get a bus platform. We'll get a bus platform right across the road over here. And the bus platform is looking good. It's looking very nice, I must say. Okay, let me see. We're gonna need to obviously get a grocery store. Well, instead of getting a grocery store, I kind of feel like maybe we just go for a big shopping center, like straight away, which is a little bit of a weird decision, maybe, given that we don't have that much of a population at present. However, let's be frank. I mean, this is Potatograd. This is going to grow to the size of I mean, what's something large? Size of a dragon? I don't know. Can dragons be large? I guess dragons can be large, but I suspect they can also be relatively averagely sized. I'm looking for a pub. That's exactly what I'm after. We'll get a pub. Can I maybe tuck the pub in a slightly more convenient location? I don't love that, but yeah, we'll leave it. We'll leave it there for now. So that should be most of the resources that I'm most bothered about people getting. Yeah, we'll give them a couple of facilities. Yeah, we'll put that there, sure. think that's it. We got the shopping center. Yeah, so that should cater for pretty much everything. Yeah, cool. Okay, so that's everything, barring education, of course, which we do need to get sorted. I do, in fact, have a mod installed that allows me to have bigger kindergartens, and I think a bigger school, because one of the problems that was reoccurring in all of my past YouTube series was that the number of places in kindergarten and in the schools was just, I mean, it was just abominable. It was just terrible. So I'm glad that we've sort of rectified that. Right. I mean, if I go for that, if I go for everything here, are we gonna be good? We're not gonna be super bankrupt, are we? I'm kind of hoping that we're not gonna go completely down the drain here, but that's okay. There we go. I tell you what, this is a really, really great map in hindsight. In hindsight. I don't know why I'm doing it like this, by the way. This is a very, very inefficient way of building and planning. But you know what? If it gives me peace of mind, then I guess it's totally worth it, right? Sure. Sure, whatever. Anyway, this map is going to be an absolutely great example of some of the new mods. So, something that you may or may not be aware of is that this game has introduced cable cars, or cableways, as they are called. And a cableway is just like it sounds. It's a gondola on a flippin' bit of metal rope, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, is it very, very cool. It's a little bit pernickety to get to work. But it's very, very interesting, and we're definitely going to have a lot of utility on a map that is so watery and so vast. Right, so, a couple of people going to work at school. I have completely neglected, of course, to consider the fact that, that this area will actually require power. Can you believe that? Can you believe it? Power? A requirement? What a joke. Anyway, is there any... I should have maybe checked this. Are there any nearby points where I'm able to buy electricity? I mean, there is. There is one that's not too far away. It's just over a little thing that I like to call the Ural Mountains. But, I mean, don't let that stop you. Don't let that stop you at all. How big is this? Alright. Alright, let's bring it over here. Sure. How much is that going to cost? It's going to cost us 63,000 rubles. You know, to be frank, that's I mean, that's a deal. That is an absolute. That's a deal. Not in the bad kind, the bad way. It's a deal in the good way. There we go. Let's get that nailed down. Brilliant. Okay, I'm gonna bring in the highest level of power cable into the city, purely because I suspect that this will probably be one of the most used electric substations. I also, if possible, want to connect the electric substation up to... Yep. Right there. Want to connect it up to the road. Purely because of the rate of fire. We just want to, you know, we want to take precautions to make sure that the fire brigade is going to be able to access each and every building that we have on the map. So without further ado, let's get everything connected up. And whilst everything is slowly but surely being built, I'm going to zip back over to the edge of the map, and I'm going to change the maximum amount of wattage to purchase. I'm gonna notch it up a little bit, which is grand. And it should mean that as soon as everything is fully built, we should see a massive spike in power. And I do believe that that has just occurred. Fantastic. We now have power. We've got the very, very basics of what I would call a city. Or a town, at least. We'll need to make sure that we get an city administrative building. But for now, I think, you know, we can rest easy that we've got the foundational aspects of a city. Now, something that I really do want to consider is what are the resources that we need to move to the customs house. I mean, we can move anything, but it's obviously entirely dependent on price, what mission we pursue. Can I have a little look? Can I have a little look at the... Ooh, oil overlay is looking particularly good. Coal is looking okay. Iron... I mean, iron is not brilliant. Coal is pretty good. And oil is pretty good, but sort of on the other side of the map. Yeah, so basically over the, yeah, so potato grad's over there, over this massive waterway over here. And I tell you what, though. I tell you what. There could be worse locations that we need to go to, because another massive thing that this patch has introduced are ships. Now, ships aren't fully implemented yet, I believe. However, I have played around with them a little bit. However, they will be continually updated, so that's something to look forward to. Right, so let's see if we can try and get some production of something set up. I mean, what do we really want to prioritize in the first instance? At the moment, we're obviously going to be importing absolutely everything. So everything that we sell in shops, everything that we use in industry is all going to be, at least for the start, is going to be imported. Don't think we need anything oil related. I tell you what we should do. Let's see if we can try and get... Let's see if we can try and get... I can never remember where it is. It's in various industries. Yes, so let's get a wood industry supply chain set up. So we'll get the wood cutting post and we'll get the sawmill. And after that, I really, really, really want to set up the cement factory, because now the cement factory setup is so much easier to do. One thing that we have got an absolute bounty of in this area is trees. So, I mean, like, let's take advantage of that, obviously. And let's get that built. And we will see if I can place a sawmill right next to this area. Right next to this lumber mill. Tell you what, that's not half bad, is it? Alright, let's do that. I do in fact believe that should work just fine. Right, and now we will bring a road up here. We will bring a road up here. We will bring a road up here. Alright, I mean, I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic until the very end, frankly. All right, you don't like that. I see what's going on. All right, let's let's carefully make sure that this is leveled out and everything is considered accordingly. I mean, that should work. Yeah, that won't work too badly. All right, and then we just need to tweak this around a little bit. There we go. Down to the next level. I mean, this was always going to be an absolute nightmare of a hill to traverse. Let's try going sideways a little bit, shall we? There we go. And then maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to get down a little bit easier. He says confidently. Yes, there we go. Brilliant. All right, we'll link up to the main road. I say the main road. It's not much of a main road. It probably should be more main than it actually is, but whatever. And let's drop this down a little bit. Drop this down. And we'll see if we can now curve around. Indeed, we can. Absolutely spectacular. Excuse me? Do you think that I'm really going to fork out for a nice bit of asphalt road there? You got another thing coming, video game, if you think that's the case. All right. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. What is going on over here? That's posh road. I ain't about that posh road life. There we go. Make that a heck of a lot cheaper. And now give me a bus stop. Yeah, give me a bus stop. Just give me a bus stop, like... A bus stop there wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Yeah, sure. I think I can probably get away with just ditching that. He says very confidently, fully expecting to be able to immediately replace the bit of road with a bus stop instead. However, it's just not that simple. However, It is just that simple. It is just that simple. Right. Is all this gonna get built? Why did it all disappear? I was queuing up a whole bunch of goodness, and then suddenly it just all completely disappeared. What a travesty. Alright. Link that up. We can even ditch that little... We definitely cannot ditch that little bit on the end. Deeply irritating. Again, with the flippin' non-gravel road. No. You've got to realize, video game, I'm only interested in the cheap stuff. In fact, I don't even know why I care about gravel road. I should be utilizing the mud roads. Goodness gracious me. What an exuberant cost, I should say, the gravel road is actually going to be. Right, let's go into infrastructure. Let's get the factory connections linked up. It works, thank goodness. Can you imagine if that didn't actually end up working? There we go. Anyway, so that's going to be direct transfer between the sawmill and the lumber shack, the woodcutting post. Sure, you know, you can call it what you like. I'm not partial to lumber shacks or non-lumber shacks. You know, whatever. Right, stick this down over here. Fantastic. And you know what? I'll keep it nice and chill with a nice small electricity post. There we go. Wonderful. And we'll get all that built as well. Fantastic. All right, we should indeed now have power. We'll turn off the wireframe in just a second. I would like just to see if we can get, yep, a path linked up there and a path linked up there. And that should mean that the commute is just that little bit quicker. Right, turn this egregious wireframe off. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people waiting to get to work. I appreciate everyone's enthusiasm to donate their labor to the state. It is an admirable, essential talent for progression. If you want to get anywhere in this world, you got to be prepared to work for it. You know, it's all about you and your fellow comrade. So chaps and chapettes, get to it. Very important. Right. Not many workers, I must say. Not many workers. Some people aren't able to get food. I mean, that's a bit of nonsense. What's going on here? Am I not... There was one little tiny bit of road that I was missing. Unbelievable. Alright, let's have a little look, see what we can get. We'll just get the... We'll get the K something. Yeah, it's usually this bus that I think is my preferred mode of transport. Yep. Right the way up to here. Brilliant. Copy. Yep, copy it to all the other buses. Fantastic. Get to it, everyone. Now, one of the really, really irritating things about this game is that even though there's been a bunch of updates, my understanding is still only one vehicle can move in the depot at once, which means that we're still dealing with this really, really strange, weird setup where only one thing can effectively happen at any given time within the depot, which is just a little bit peculiar. But you know, it is what it is. It totally is what it is. Anyway, that's going to be planks, or should I say boards, set up. We're probably going to have to move this bus stop in time. Or will we? Dum. We'll have to wait and see. You'll have to wait and see. There's going to be some good stuff. There's going to be some good stuff happening. I am going to get... I mean, I think I can just get any... I can get any of these trucks. I could get the logger. I'll just get... Yeah, I'll get 3 of those. They've got a crane on the back of them anyway, so should make for nice and easy lifting. 11 workers. I mean, that is a pretty poor number of workers, I must say. Loads of people are still unable to get food. I mean, can we rectify that, please? There should be ample capacity. Ample capacity. Additionally, nobody can get to a church, but I guess that's not too much of a problem. I could unlock the cheat menu right now and place down a church, but we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that later. For now, I just want to see if everything works as planned up here before we immediately start work on our cement processing area, I guess. Right. So we've got workers, but we're still missing the wood resources, as completely to be expected. So we should indeed see some of these trucks drive out and start to just collect wood, which will be chopped down. Wonderful. Okay, I mean, so far so good. That all looks absolutely perfect. Brilliant. And then the wood is going to be immediately moved into the sawmill, and then the sawmill is going to chop it up, which is fantastic. I mean, so far so good. Nothing to complain about there. Okay, brilliant. So we've got board production. That's very, very nice. We can actually think about making prefabricated panels probably a little bit sooner than we otherwise would have, because of forklifts. That's right, you heard me. I am going to need to get, where is it? It's not in various industries. I can never remember where the flipping stuff is. It's in here. Right. Concrete plant, don't care about concrete plant. Cement silo, don't care about the cement silo. I need the concrete plant. That's what I need. I do actually need the concrete plant. Okay. I take it back, video game. I need the concrete plant. Okay. We're going to need to import a bunch of gravel for now, but I mean, that will be totally acceptable in my book. So let's get the concrete plant just built there. Let's just commit to building it. Let's just get it done. Let's extend the road up here. What the heck was that? That's more like it. Build the road up there. Fantastic. So we've got the concrete plant. We're going to import the gravel, at least for the moment. So we don't need to worry about sort of basic gravel supply. At least for now. We can think about that a little bit later on. Asphalt, we don't need to worry about asphalt. I will get a cement silo, and I'm going to get a cement silo. Actually over here. Yeah, get a cement silo over there, which may seem a little bit far away from the concrete plant, but we're about to do magic. Right, so what else do I need to get sorted? I mean, if that's going to create cement, that's good. Yeah, what else? Yeah, a cement plant. A cement plant is pretty important. And I actually need the cement plant in order to make concrete. That's a bit of an oversight. Oh, wait! No! Actually, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Right, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to place down... We're going to place this building down. We're going to place it down over here. And this will all become clear in just a second. We'll place it down right over there. You know what? We'll just get it built. What am I, a madman? Am I just this confident in my rough design that things will work? No, just you wait. Just you wait. Okay, a prefabricated panel factory. Yep, we're going to need one of those as well. I'm going to perhaps place that in just a second. A brick factory. I don't need a brick factory right now, and I don't need a steel mill right now. But I am actually going to be able to make prefabricated panels pretty darn quickly. Also, I ain't got no fuel. That's a bit of a problem that I had completely neglected to consider. But that's okay. Where is it? Fuel. Gas station. Yeah, that's what it's called. Right, sure. We'll get a gas station. We'll stick the gas station on the main road. That seems like a pretty appropriate place to plonk it, right? Sure. And we'll make sure that all of the resources are, like, auto-supplied. Right? Brilliant. So you're gonna go somewhere and then turn around, I guess? Cool. Building is without a power supply. I said that it was an appropriate place to put it. And then almost immediately regretted what I said. Right, get that down over there. And... yeah, sure. Something like that. Brilliant. Brilliant. And brilliant. And you guys are coming down here for fuel as well. Yeah, you guys also need fuel. Everyone needs fuel. As it turns out, it's a pretty important resource when you consider, like, transport and transport management. Anyway, the cement plant is still being built. What's the maximum output of the cement plant per day, given that I have given it very little thought? 81 tons of cement. At maximum production, this thing consumes 30 tons. What about the prefab panel place? 9.8? I mean, that's totally fine. We're going to be able to make prefab panels coming out the wazoo. The only question is, what do prefab panels actually go for? Probably almost nothing, right? Yeah, I've sold prefab panels before. They don't do particularly well. But that's all right. I mean, look, it is what it is. Anyway, ladies and gents, should we make the magic happen? Let's try and make the magic happen. Right, so we're going to go into infrastructure. We're going to go into connections between factories. Whereas before, you used to only be able to connect up one connection. So that's too long. Oh no, what a problem. It's almost like I wanted to demonstrate to you the power of the factory connection crossing. That's right. This thing is an absolute game changer. So what we're going to do is we're going to place down, yeah, that thing like right about there. Boom, boom, and boom. What do you know? Everything is linked up to this massive sort of complex, which is really, really cool. We're going to also get that over there, and we're going to connect up another one, and we're also going to get ourselves a forklift garage. Now, the reason that we need a forklift garage is that a forklift garage basically allows you to set up exactly what buildings you want to be supplied, and like which destination, which place they come from. So, for example, we currently have a cement plant. Now, it's obvious to me that the cement is going to want to be transferred to the cement silo in the first instance. So all of the cement, after it's been produced, will move to the cement silo. And then from the cement silo, it can be moved into the concrete manufacturing plant, fine, or alternatively into the prefab panel factory, which we have yet to make. But if we're able to manufacture our own prefab panels right from the very beginning, then we are going to see a massive, massive, massive cost saving on residential buildings. I mean, the prefabricated flats here require concrete, gravel, asphalt, prefab panels, and steel, and we'll be able to provide concrete and the prefab panels, not the steel, but that will happen in due course. And also the asphalt as well. Well, we're gonna get the asphalt. We don't have the asphalt at the moment, but we'll get it in just a second. Right. So let's get the power set up. As you can see, I'm kind of being fairly liberal, really, with my power network at the moment. I'm just trying to make sure that we've got as many sort of separate connections as possible. What the heck was that? As many sort of separate connections as possible to ensure that if we do need to split up any connections for whatever reason, i.e. we need to branch some of them, then, you know, we can do that and still have an appropriate amount of capacity. That's the plan as it stands. Will it hold up forever? Probably not. Anyway, let's hopefully see this kind of kick into action. And by kind of kick into action, I mean hopefully it will, yeah, the power need has disappeared, which is brilliant. Fantastic. Everything is linked up. Wonderful. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. So, we're gonna need to make sure that this area is set up to receive workers, obviously. However, the other thing that I also want to make sure we have is a proper conveyor setup. So, we need, what is it? It's coal and gravel. I mean, we need vastly more gravel than we need coal. So I think we're going to try and get ourselves a large aggregate storage. In fact, you know, we should just get ourselves 2 large aggregate storages. Yeah, let's get ourselves 2 large aggregate storages. One here. And one here. 2 large aggregate storages. 1 engine transfer thing there. Maybe we'll be able to get away with just 1 here. Yeah, we will indeed. Brilliant. 1 engine transfer over there. 1 more engine transfer over here. Similarly, maybe. Building is in the way. That's close. That is very, very close to being able to work. Again, very, very flippin' close. However, now we're going to be sort of approaching the maximum angle. There is a way over here. All right, let's let's do the second best thing. Let's move that back a smidgen. And no, we don't want a small aggregate storage. Go big or go home. You know what they say. Yeah, sure. We'll just do this. So we'll move it up. We'll move it slightly forward. And then we can get a nice, long, big conveyor belt. One of these is going to import gravel. One of these conveyors, anyway, one of these large aggregate storages is going to import gravel. The other is going to import coal until we can set up the deliveries ourselves and get it all working. Now, are these guys going to be supplied with power? This guy might be... Nope, he's totally within power range. Wonderful. Brilliant. Okay, buildings without power supply, buildings without power supply. I don't think that actually matters because it's the conveyors and the engine transfers that actually need power. Right, I'm going to auto-import gravel into here. And I'm going to auto-import coal into here. Wonderful, and that does not work because we do not have a conveyor engine transfer driving the coal movement as far as I understand. So we're gonna need to change that slightly. A little bit of an expensive change, but I think it'll be totally worth it. There we go. Means that I don't need to bother building out another power setup over here, which I could do, but I think things will just get messy if we do that. So yeah, there we go. That absolutely moves all of the coal that we need, moves all of the gravel that we need. Wonderful. Okay, how many workers do we need over here? It's 30 workers. Well, okay, all right. What do you say? 30 workers. I mean, that seems pretty reasonable, all things considered, doesn't it? Oh yes, it does. However, I mean, you might be saying, well, potato. I mean, there's a fairly fairly easy bus route to be set up over here, you know, between this area and, you know, maybe a bus stop over here. And I would say, you are indeed maybe correct. However, I will raise you. Let's get a cable car. This is the most inconvenient, worst place for a cable car to be. However, it's gonna be cool as heck. Let's set up a flippin' cable car station. That's right. We're gonna absolutely do this. We're gonna absolutely do this in a totally unironic way. That's right. The people are going to move around my town. They're gonna move around Potatograd via cable car. I said it. Right, so my first experience using cableways, cable cars, whatever the heck you want to call them, was a little bit difficult because, I mean, they're pretty challenging to work because you need to make sure that they don't touch the ground. You need to make sure that they don't touch the ground. You need to make sure that they are reasonably straight. The angle cannot be too sharp. However, it's pretty flippin' cool. Now, you can imagine under normal circumstances where I'm obviously not trying to show off, you know, some brand new tech. You can imagine that these that these cable cars would most probably... Can I find a sweet spot here? Angle of connection is too sharp. Excuse me. There we go. Right, get rid of that. Excuse me. Do we... Not entirely sure why that's not working. Seems to think that there's a pillar over here. I must say, that's very confusing. Right, let's build this in the hope that this will actually work. Now, yes, as I was saying, you can imagine that these cableways are perhaps used to reach the more inaccessible areas of your terrain. So, for example, gravel farms or gravel quarries, whatever that up in mountains, up in stony mountains. I highly suspect that cableways, cable cars, whatever the heck you want to call them, I highly suspect that they will be quite useful to supply workers and resources up there, because these things don't only move workers, they also move resources, which is very, very cool indeed. There we go. What do you know? Okay, that looks like it will work. Let's get all of these pillars built. And then let's see the complete line. Hey, hey, hey. It absolutely works. All right, let's make sure that it's connected at both ends to the pathway. And we also need to make sure that there is a pathway to all of the factories. By all the factories, I mean the cement factory and also the concrete factory. Concrete factory, cement factory. I keep forgetting the difference between concrete and cement, which is pretty problematic actually when you think about it, but I mean, it's not going to stop me. Anyway, the cableway engine is turned off at the moment. There are 12 workers waiting to go over here. Let's buy some cable cars first. So as you can see, there's a couple of different cable cars that we can buy. These, notably, are the light cable cars. So we can buy a light personal cabin V3. I mean, I don't really know what the difference is, quite frankly, here. They all have a capacity of 4, and I don't really know why that would be any different. The light cargo car, obviously, doesn't carry passengers. It carries cargo. I mean, let's just buy the cheapest. Let's just buy the absolute cheapest. Let's buy 10. Sure, let's do it. And then let's start the cableway engine. And then let's immediately see, what is that? Oh, that is brilliant. 4 workers being transported via cable car right to where they need to be. Just brilliant. Just brilliant. And they're going to travel all the way over there. I love it. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Very, very cool indeed. And it just works. It just works. If we want to carry cargo around in these cable cars or in the heavy cable cars, I mean, that's something that we could look at doing in the future. Again, gravel in my mind, and maybe to an extent logging. Logging in this area is pretty hilly. I mean, if we were to, I mean, definitely gravel. Definitely gravel. Maybe iron could be transported via cableway. So that's definitely something that we can consider in the future. Okay, we've got a cement plant that's up and running. That's looking pretty darn nice. Pretty happy with that. And the concrete plant is about to start work as well. Except, hold up, no, it won't start work because we still haven't set up the forklifts to work as they should. Now, we need to buy a couple of forklifts. I'll buy 3 forklifts, 4 forklifts, the maximum number that you can have. In fact, I don't actually know what the maximum number you can have is. Might be 4. It's 4. There you go. Okay, but we can obviously connect as many of these stations as we want to, as many forklift stations as we want to. And each forklift, you can basically set up to operate in a little route. So you are going to go from the cement plant, and at the cement plant, we're going to load cement. That's right. You heard me, folks. And we're not going to unload anything, and we're going to go right on over to the cement silo, and we are going to unload cement. There we go. That's frankly it. At the moment, we don't have anything. In fact, no, tell a lie. We do actually have a few different bits and bobs. There we go. We do that there, and then unload cement. So if I do that, I think everything should be set up to just work. So you're presumably going to go and load cement, and you're going to unload it into the cement silo. And I would imagine that most of these dudes are going to have the same mission. But anyway, these guys traverse the, you know, very, 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 very obnoxiously yellow industrial transit routes, which is very, very cool. It seems to work very, very nicely. They each carry 1.8 tons of cement, which I think is totally fine. Yeah. And we're basically able to move resources around wherever the heck we want to, which is tremendously powerful. Very, very cool indeed. And look at this. What do you know? Our small cableway station is working wonders. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. We do have a ridiculously large number of workers over here, and we've got a ridiculously large number of boards, which should probably be moved somewhere. I could export them, but boards are... I mean, they're basically free. They're so cheap that it's actually kind of horrific. Sure, I didn't really anticipate what we were going to do with boards. I more wanted to just get a production process set up. I mean, sure, let's build large open storage just over here for now. At the bottom of the mountain. This might come in handy, I'm telling myself, although I think both you and I both know, you and I both know that this will probably almost never be used. Anyway, that's fine. You know, this is just an excuse to get some of the boards out of the sawmill and into storage. What am I looking for? I'm looking for... Is it a dumper truck? No, it's not a dumper truck. It's a... I'm close. Covered hull. Covered hull? No, it's not a covered hull. It's an open hull. That's it. Open hull that transports boards. Flippin' heck. That took me far too long. What's the max capacity? I think it's 12K. I think it's 12K in this year. Don't quote me on that. 10K. 13K. It's 13K. I think that is actually the maximum capacity. Right. Let's get four trucks. Maybe a little bit optimistic. Anyway, these guys are going to transport anything from the sawmill. I say anything. Load boards and unload boards. There we go. Brilliant. And we'll copy this and paste, paste, paste. 1, 2, 3. Go, 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 go. Fantastic. All right. So we've only spent 1.2 million, and already we've got a dope cableway. Look at that. Look at that. It actually works. It actually flippin' works. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's just so cool. It's so cool. Right, we are missing gravel over here. However, the cement is getting to where it needs to go, which is wonderful as well. So it means clearly that the forklifts are doing an absolutely tremendous job of getting the stuff where they need it to go. Now, let's just... I mean, I don't really want to start making gravel quite yet. I mean, I do want to start making prefabricated panels. That is what I'm interested in doing. For goodness sake, I can never ever remember. I can never ever flippin' remember. Well, I mean, why? Why is prefab panel in here anyway? It should not be. We need to import a bunch of gravel now. I mean, it would technically be possible for us to import gravel from this thingamabobber over there, from that engine. You know what? Let's try and do that. Let's try and do that. And the only reason that I'm feeling confident in being able to try and do this is because I know for a fact that even if the industrial connection doesn't work here, it totally does. Okay, so it looks like the maximum length between Wow, even that works. That's too long. Okay, so that is next level. I mean, this is just brilliant. This is just absolutely brilliant. So already you can see the benefit from having this massive setup. It allows us to place buildings in, you know, just much easier to access locations, which is tremendously powerful. All right, that's gonna go right over there, and hopefully, I was thinking that we were gonna be able to slide into those DMs, slide under the radar. I was very confident that we were going to be doing a lot of sliding under the radar. However, it now looks to me like radar sliding will have to wait another day. Right, let's try another approach. Really? Are we not able to get under there? Really? I mean, we can always do this. He says very confidently. Yeah, if I place another one of you there, and we do something like that. Yeah, okay, so, I mean, this is a little bit finagled, confusing, but it will end up working. As long as we've got power over here, which, the more I think about it, the less confident I am. You gosh darn fool. Alright, you know how I talked about splitting up power lines? I mean, that is about to happen right now. We're going to absolutely do that because we need to do it. Let's stick in a medium voltage switch. Yep. And this is the start of the this is the start of the destruction of our glorious power system. Said no one ever. This is the start of greatness. Okay. Put that over there. The reason that I want that to go over there is because, as you'll know, I talked quite extensively about making sure that everything was connected up to the road. And we're going to make doubly certain that that is the case just by putting in one of these, you know, token mud roads. No real value there, but hey ho. Right, let's get the prefab panels factory set up. Wonderful. Without power supply. Building is without power supply. Ah, yeah, that's not a great look at all. Something else that I have learnt, which has probably become to you absolutely obvious now, is that, you know, I've learned from previous series that, I mean, whilst building and constructing all of the resources, you know, like prefab panels, electronics, whilst it's important to make sure that we're producing all of that in our own country, we are, of course, you know, a Soviet country. We want to produce all of the resources ourselves. We're quite proud of the fact that we can produce all of the resources ourselves. I'm not going to shy away, however, from importing a bunch of resources. No. I'm quite content to allow the importation. Is that a word? Importation of resources. Also, footpath-wise, we still can't cross over industrial nonsense, which still winds me up to no end. And I think that we're going to need to get... I think that we're going to need to flip and get either another cableway, which seems... I mean, it seems downright silly to do, frankly. Or we get bus service, which seems a lot more reasonable, actually. Let's get a bus service. You know, I mean, oh, you idiot potato, you've scuppered our bus chances. I say that. I've not scuppered my bus chances. All we need to do is build a back road, a back access road. Brilliant. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Just around the periphery of what is basically our industrial estate, which I love. I love the fact that we actually have a proper industrial estate. I mean, I can fully envision this area being where it's at, if you know what I mean. I mean, this is going to be where everything happens. This is going to be where we produce everything. I mean, it was always a massive problem. You know, in the past, you could have specific areas, specific towns devoted to, specific resource production. But now with Potatograd, that bus station's never going to work. That was wildly optimistic. But now with Potatograd, we are, we're probably going to be able to produce, I mean, almost everything that I care about here, right? I'm thinking. I mean, from what I can see anyway. I don't really know what I need to care about. Well, I do know what I need to care about, but I'm sure what I care about will change as time goes on. Right, small bus platform. Wonderful. Get that down. Brilliant. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reassign like 2 of these buses after they've dropped off their load. He says very confidently. Potatograd bus station. At least 2 stops required. Fine. Come out to here. What is this called? This is the Potatograd bus platform small. So ditch that. And go there. Copy this. Copy it onto that one. Brilliant. Okay, so now we've got 2 buses which work on the alternative route. Because let's face it, this route is this route is not exactly super busy. Doesn't need that many people. I mean, to be honest, we need more wood production, frankly, in this area, and that is entirely possible. That is entirely possible now, because what we can theoretically do is we can literally just remove. Let me pause and work this through. We can remove that, and then we can stick in... Not entirely sure on the... Wow, okay. Turns out that forklifts are very, very good at navigating intensely steep roads. I'm delighted. Only Soviet forklifts could do that. Cool. Okay, so wood cutting posts. Let's get some more wood cutting posts in this area. Why the heck not, right? Can't build due to infrastructure. Oh, woe is me. Right, I know we're gonna ditch a little bit of wood, but as far as I'm concerned, that is a price worth paying for potentially a heck of a lot more wood processing capability. Wood for what, I hear you ask, as I've already heard you ask it countless times throughout this episode. Well, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. It's an important one. Very important question, in fact. A very important question that I'm sure will be answered, as time progresses. As humans evolve, as we become more knowledgeable in the ways of the world. I'm sure at some point, we'll get an answer to that question. But for now, nope. Afraid not. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Okay, cool. Can I get some more? I can get some more. All right, you know what? I'm all in on this. I'm absolutely all in on this. Yeah. Let's flip and do this. All right. I mean, that is awful. I mean, I was trying to see on what planet I could let that go, let that slide, but just not on this one, I'm afraid. Okay. I think that we can make this work. Okay. So, what I want to do is I want to get a dirt road connect up this area. Yeah, brilliant. And then what I'm going to do, this is going to be the magic of this whole operation. That's right. I'm going to get a cable car. I'm going to get a cable car over here. I'm actually using the cable car for probably what it was intended for. He says. And then he realizes, well, maybe, just maybe I can use the cable car as it was intended in 2 ways. I mean, This is an idea. This is an idea. You know how I said earlier about how cable cars could transport resources? Well, you know what? Turns out that I wasn't actually lying, and I was, in fact, totally telling the truth, because, I mean, what have I got to gain from lying about that piece of information? There is maybe a slight chance that I could set up a little cable car thing over here that can transport workers up and then subsequently transport resources down. I mean, that would be pretty flippin' cool if that was the case. I'm just so glad. The amount of money that I'm saving by using these bulldozers, these in-house bulldozers. I say in-house bulldozers. You get the picture. Right. So, what we need to see if we can do is... yeah, something like that. Something like that. Need flat terrain. I mean, I don't mean to, you know, poo-poo your idea of terrain. Too steep of an incline? Isn't that entirely what you're supposed to do, though? By the way, this might just end up being the shortest and most ridiculous cableway journey in the entirety of humanity. However, gosh darn it, it'll be cool. Too steep of an incline. I simply just don't believe it. I simply don't believe it. What is the point? You can't say too steep of an incline. Too steep of an... still too steep of an incline? Really? Really? Still too steep? I tell you what, though. The one thing that I am happy about... still too steep of an incline? The one thing that I am happy about is knowing the amount of nonsense that it would take in order to build a road up here. It would be ridiculous. Ah, I found it. Can't build due to infrastructure. There we go. That's the sweet spot. Right. Let's get this set up. Let's get this set up. This is going to be a little bit of a tricky thing to maneuver. Also, how much do these big things cost? They cost 35 grand a pop. I mean, so that's not exactly pocket change, but it's not exactly huge. Anyway, so let's get this built in just a second. However, I want to build a factory connection. There are a couple of factory connections that I want to make sure we get right. There we go. These are two of them right here. Right, I mean, immediately we're off to a pretty bad start. However, I can connect this up here, presumably, right? Yeah, that should be fine. Yep. Brilliant. If I straighten that up. In fact, maybe I don't even need to straighten that up. Yeah, I don't. Although I will need to get another separator divider thing in here. Because we're going to need to also connect up this, which should just... I say should just work. It doesn't just work, but that's fine. You can connect up over there. We'll deal with you in just a second. That connects up there. That connects up there. And we'll need to try and go around the corner here. It's a tricky one. However, it's mitigated by the fact that I am destroying almost all of the trees that I want to harvest here, which is always a really, really good thing to do. All right, wow, I cannot physically believe that that actually works. I mean, the wireframe is saying no, but the video game is saying yes. I mean, who am I to say otherwise? Right, okay, so that's that. The next thing that we're going to need to do is connect up a footpath, or indeed a road, to this area over here. Probably a road, right? I mean, I would say a road because a road is probably the best way that we can get over these ridiculous restrictions. Alternatively, you know, all of this massive setup that I've just gone about building. Yeah, I'm not gonna faff around with that too much at the moment, because let's try and get this connected up. There we go. Try and get that connected up so that people can walk to work. All about walking to work here. And instead, that's right, we can go the other direction. Cool. And actually, it should give us just a little bit more space, which is always really, really nice. Too sharp of a turn? Alright, you're not happy with that, but you're happy with that. I mean, frankly, I don't care, honestly. It is going to take us slightly longer to get to where we need to go, but, you know, c'est la vie. What can I say? Ooh. That's a little bit irritating. Right, this is all going to need to be leveled. However, that presents problems of its own, really. Okay. And also, it presents a problem of not being far away enough to be connected up. Which is a darned irritating thing to say, but turns out that it's totally correct. Right. Is that far away enough? Might just be far away enough. That is totally far away enough. Alright, that can't go there. Not quite yet. We're very, very close. Okay. So, that goes there. Yes. Wonderful. Must go directly from building A to building B. Yes, that is kind of what's happening here. Good. Glad we rectified that. And that connects up there. It's a Christmas miracle. It's a Christmas miracle. It is a Christmas miracle. Now, I guess we'll wait and see if this actually works. I, frankly, I will be totally incredulous. I'll be totally incredulous to see if this does actually work. Disregard, by the way, just completely disregard the fact that it would be much easier to connect up this setup over here to this setup over here. We're gonna flip and try and make this happen. I want to see if I can move planks down the side of a mountain in a cable car. That's right, because it is just literally as absurd as it actually sounds. That's what I'm all about. Cableway engine is turned off. Let's flip and turn that Cableway engine on then, eh? Alright, and we got a heavy cargo car, which I'm all about using. Sure, let's get a couple on the tracks. Let's also get a heavy personnel cabin. Yeah, sure. Get a couple of those. Alright, brilliant. No guarantee that the personnel will actually make it on for a while, but whatever. Alright. I mean, the absolutely bonkers Cableway setup is now up and running. Can it get any crazier in Soviet Russia? I'm sure it totally could. I'm sure it could, and I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will get crazier. Look, I pride myself on the craze. I've only spent 1.5 mil. I mean, I'm in a positive state of restraint here. Have I got any people? I ain't got no people on this. I ain't got no people on this yet. Right, can I get people to go to here, here, and here? There we go, 33%. Loads and loads of people. Right, wood is missing. Wood is still missing from the sawmill. Also, that needs to get connected up. That needs to get connected up. Don't know why I wasn't doing that before. Also, now I need to get a forklift set up over here. Which seems totally possible, and yet just out of my grasp. There we go. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Let's, let's get a couple of forklifts. We'll just get 3. In fact, you know what? Why not? Why not? Let's splash out. I mean, look, this is a very happy moment. Yep, we'll do all of that stuff. We need to load woods. Load, unload woods. And load wood at the wood cutting post. Yep, pretty basic, pretty simple, I think. Pretty much. Disregard the fact that pretty much no one can be employed in this point over here, unless I can somehow connect up the road. Yeah, that looks absolutely completely impossible. Have I got any passengers, any people ready to work? You should be able to get to work. No passengers yet. Where's the buses? How many buses we got? We've got 41 workers. We've got 10 workers. All right, that's fine. Speaking of, by the way, how are things going over here? We're missing cement. That's because I haven't set up a cement delivery system. I haven't added this as a connection. At the prefab panel factory, we want to unload cement, so that should allow cement to make its way to where it needs to go. I do indeed believe. Yep, so that should be fine. Totally fine. Still don't have any way to get employees over there. Let's see where everyone goes upon arrival of this bus. There we go. That's what we like to see. We are actually going to see a bunch of people head into the cable car station, which is still, to me, absolutely bonkers, and I still can't believe that it's quite happened that way. But what can I say? This is madness. This is totally madness. Where's the vehicle? I mean, it's a little bit irritating how the heavy personal cabins are both sort of like after one another. I guess it could be worse. Let's stick it in 2x speed to make sure that everyone gets picked up, and then let's just get to it. It works like an absolute dream. It works like it totally should work. And I still cannot quite believe it. This whole massive, sprawling setup is kind of successful. I mean, you know, we haven't really moved any of the resources back down the road yet. But, I mean, look, this is just not something that we need to consider. Not yet, anyway. Look, we need to load wood and then unload wood over here. Yeah. And I tell you what we can do. Just because we've got the opportunity to do so. Right. Can I? No. No. Okay, all right. Video game, you were so good to me just a second ago. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. And then we'll come up this way. Underneath our cable car setup, he says very confidently. However, I think our cable car setup runs too low to the ground at that point. Oh, that is very, 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 very risky clearance over there. Okay. What I was thinking of doing is actually modifying this route so we can go to Segura Sawmill and then back to the open storage. However, on the way back after the open storage, we'll stop and past here. We'll wait until loaded and we'll load 100% of boards. And then we'll go back to the sawmill and actually delete that. And we will unload the logs. Oops. Yeah. Load logs, unload the wood, pick up the boards. Right? There we go. That's what we're going to do. We'll see if we actually get any logs sent down here. I mean, there are a fair few logs that need to be moved across now, but we'll see if it actually works. Yeah, anyone? Any waiting logs? I don't know if the cargo will unload if there's not a vehicle waiting there. I guess we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Here it comes. All right. So, yeah, what have I said? I've said load logs, and you need to unload logs. Wait until unloaded. Wait until loaded. cause somewhat of a problem. Does that mean there's going to be like a tailback of cable cars? Oh, also we need forklifts. Oh boy, that's a bit of an oversight, isn't it? I've just completely neglected. I was thinking, sitting there thinking, what the heck? What's going on here? I've set up this ridiculously overcomplex system, and it doesn't seem to be working. I mean, apart from the fact that there's no surprise in that, why is it not working? Turns out, I just needed to believe in myself all along. Right, find connections. We can just click that little button. It'll set it all up. We want to unload all of the wood at the cable car stations. We want to load up the wood at both of the cutting posts. And just like that, we should be absolutely fine. And we should be able to take whatever we need to take. There are five cabins waiting in this station, which is a bit of a bummer, to be honest, because they shouldn't be waiting. Well, they should be waiting, frankly, but it just means that the personnel aren't going to be able to get up here in as timely a fashion. Let's untick that box, shall we? Untick that box too. All right, I mean, this audacious system does actually work. It is horrifically inefficient. I think with the modification of forklifts, it's going to be easier, you know, just in mountainous terrain. I think it's going to be easier just to put in place industrial tracks and just drive forklifts up and down ridiculously steep mountains. That's what I see anyway as the probable future, I would suggest. But for now, I mean, I'm reasonably happy with this chaotic little setup. You know, we also managed to successfully make a bunch of prefab panels, which I've not really paid attention to at all throughout the course of this episode. This was quickly just thrown together, which I think is, I think it's admirable that it worked as well as it has. We've hardly burnt through any money, and already we've got flipping prefab panels and boards. So, I mean, I'm not too displeased with that. Although I must say, in my defense, most of this is for demonstration purposes only, and I'm sure as the series evolves, we will indeed, you know, change things around, modify them a little bit, and you know, maybe streamline the processes as we go. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call this episode right about now. This has been the wonderful Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and my name, of course, has been Open Potato. I do hope you've enjoyed yourself. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed the video, if you enjoy my content in general, check out the Patreon. The Patreon is a fantastic way of helping me make more of the videos that hopefully you like to watch and I like to make. So I'm grateful to absolutely everyone who supports me over on Patreon, and simply would not be able to do this without their fantastic help. Thank you very much for watching, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye.